hope you're all well. This month of vlogging has been so fulfilling, but I thought I would just try something a little different. I wanted to share how I'm staying active in my third trimester, how that has evolved over time, and what my routine looks like now. But before I get into it, I do just want to preface this video by saying that this is just my experience. I'm not telling you what to do. Every pregnancy is just so different. I'm just sharing my own journey and what has been working for me. So prior to pregnancy, I was an avid reformer Pilates girl. I loved reformer Pilates and I just felt my strongest. I would mix up my week with Pilates and then have a few days of strength training. I absolutely do plan on getting back into Pilates. I think just for now, I know that there are prenatal reformer Pilates classes that you can do, but I think for now, being my first pregnancy, I'm a little bit unsure and I just don't really want to risk anything. I felt my heaviest after our wedding, and apparently it's quite common and it's quite commonly referred to as happy weight, but we also wanted to start trying. I really do just want to add, because I'm looking back now and I was really just hard on myself and like who I was as a person. I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself, which and I don't know if this is a universal experience for anyone who works in like marketing, communications and events. The majority of your time is consumed by like ticking off a box and moving on to the next task, and sometimes you are in the midst of it and it can start to like seep into your personal life. And looking back, I was just really toxic to myself. We were engaged in January that year. Irrespective of what I just said, my husband and I always did discuss marrying shortly after our engagement. So our engagement was at the start of our 6-week overseas trip, and when we returned, it was, I think, towards the end of February, and I road tripped with a friend down to Sydney, and by the time we got back, it was early March, and then I just got straight into wedding planning, which was a dream. I loved all things wedding planning. We found our venue the next month. It was so beautiful. It was our first venue that we did go and have a look at, and it genuinely just felt perfect. Even the staff were the sweetest. I have a picture of us I found when we were at the venue. They had this beautiful little swing next to the lake and then like a beautiful little hut as well. I think I approached the wedding body goals really well. I started doing, but like not excessively, and I didn't want there to be like a drastic change of how I looked on our wedding day. We also had a lot of changes going on in our life prior to the wedding. One huge one being that I moved interstate for 6 weeks, month and a half before the wedding. So when I returned, it was just like a lot. It was a huge rush. Everything had to be perfect. Genuinely, our wedding was just so perfect. I count my blessings every day. And because things had just gone so well for that year, I think I just really struggled for when things didn't go right. And after marriage, they say it's your time to just soak everything up and live contently. But I was so fixated on, okay, what can we achieve next? What's next for us? We started trying in December. I also joined a gym in December, and we got our beautiful puppy Bambi in December. We hadn't had a pup since 2021, and I like to say Bear was just the easiest puppy. So when Bambi wasn't able to adapt as quickly and wouldn't toilet train as quickly, I really struggled, and I'd really like to find out the psychological reason behind this. But I became OCD, like incredibly bad OCD, to the point I couldn't sleep if I knew that one thing was out of place. My spice rack, so dumb. My spice rack had to be perfect. I think I was just in a really negative state of mind, and then the OCD started seeping into other areas of my life, including my weight and our fertility journey. I just also want to say this is by no means at all any frustrations towards Bambi. I look back now and I know she just needed that extra care and extra patience towards her transition into our family. I expressed my concerns about my weight to the doctor, and then we started working on ways that we can try and improve it. For instance, seeing a dietitian. I tested in the overweight category for my BMI. I think this was around February, and so I was introduced to reformer Pilates and strength training, and I absolutely fell in love. I was eating healthier, I was exercising more regularly, but my weight was just stagnant, or I was gaining weight. I think this is also about the time that I started to see videos about Mounjaro, and so I really just quickly want to explain my understanding. So Mounjaro is a medication that was originally made for type 2 diabetes, and it helps your body manage blood sugar and appetite. It's become really well known because a lot of people have seen positive effects of it in terms of losing weight. Ozempic is similar, but the difference is Mounjaro works on 2 hormones while Ozempic only works on the 1. That's why people often say that Mounjaro feels a lot stronger or works differently, because it literally targets like more than one pathway. And that's just a super simple version. Again, that's just my understanding of what Mounjaro is and the difference between Mounjaro and Ozempic. So I started my Mounjaro journey in May. I also forgot to add, I don't know if this is similar with Ozempic. I've actually never looked into Ozempic, but there are different doses on Mounjaro. So for instance, it's like 2.5, 5, 7.5 and 10. And I think you increase your dose. The majority of people, from my understanding, is that you increase your dose over time for more of an effect. But I was very adamant that I just wanted to stay on the lowest dose, because if it made a positive difference anyway, I didn't want to just to keep increasing. Like, that dose would work for me. So yeah, that was mine and my doctor's preference, and I only wanted to stay on it until I reached the healthy category for my BMI, because again, I was in the unhealthy or the overweight category for my BMI. It's important to speak to your doctor or any medical professional before you do start taking Mounjaro. So I maintained my fitness routine of Pilates and the gym, and I was seeing such a positive difference. So everything I was doing prior, I maintained, but for some reason prior, I was putting on weight or my weight was just staying stagnant. So this did help give my body that little bit of a kick. It regulated my period, which they do say that does happen. Genuinely, I felt really good mentally and physically. I think because I did start improving my weight, I was so much happier and I stopped fixating on what I couldn't control. There was a lot of improvements for my mental health, so I think I was in a really good mental state. I stopped stressing when my period would come. And I just accepted that when it was the right time, a baby would choose me. And there was also this theory that it was helping women to fall pregnant. Again, I really just want to share my understanding as to why that could possibly have been. One of the big reasons apparently is that when people lose weight or their hormones start to regulate, especially if they have things like PCOS, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, then their fertility can actually improve. Some women, when their weight stabilizes and their insulin resistance gets better, their body can start ovulating again, and sometimes it happens just really suddenly. So even if someone hasn't been ovulating regularly for years, it can change on medications like Mounjaro, and that's where some of these unexpected pregnancies are apparently coming from. So we had planned to see a fertility doctor if we reached 12 months and we were still unsuccessful, but by the 8th month I found out I was pregnant. Looking back though, I just feel like I was so hard on my body, and not just my body but like my mind. I'm really protective of my old self, and I wish I could just go back in time and reassure her that everything would be okay. I just find it so incredible that my body currently is the sanctuary for our baby, and how I treat my body and my mind is so important to ensuring that I'm producing a positive life for my baby. I think I was just so caught up in, I really don't know what it was. It was terrible. I was just so caught up in trying to achieve so many things, when obviously there's so many beautiful quotes about like, live your life. You never get these moments back. So cherish what you have and what you're living in. So I think that's something I really want to start living by a lot more, especially looking back and just seeing and talking about like the things I put myself through. Throughout my entire pregnancy, I have tried to keep my body moving as much as possible. I've tried to nourish it in terms of what food I'm consuming, but at the same time, your body needs what it craves. How I like to treat myself. Treating myself is not just being on like a strict, I can't eat that or I can't eat that. It's making sure that I'm treating it, because again, it is growing a human being and it is so incredible. So to me, staying active is just really important. So I have a little walking pad at home. I like to jump on it, walk for like a minimum of 20 minutes a day, and over time you start to accommodate your routine for what period of pregnancy you're in. So at the start, my first trimester, like many, wasn't the easiest. I think I just put my body through what it could handle. In the second trimester, I was the most active in my second trimester, and I've only just come out of that. I really would keep up with my walking a lot. Trimester 2 was definitely my nesting era, so I'd spend a lot of my weekends moving, and now that in my third trimester, I do try and keep up with the walking pad walks. I've still got 3.5 weeks left until I go onto maternity leave, so most of my mornings I'm up and leaving early for work, and even if it's just for like 15 to 20 minutes in the mornings, I just jump on the walking pad. Australian summer heat is terrible, so I really utilize the walking pad a lot for 2 reasons. One, because we have the aircon on most of the time at home, and secondly, literally just put on anything. I don't feel like embarrassed or anything. I just put on a sports bra and just whatever shorts are in the house, things that I would definitely not wear outside, and it's just so much more fitting and comfortable. And obviously I'm in my home, so they say with preparation towards birth to utilize your exercise balls, so I feel like I have been. I'm also trying to feed myself positive affirmations when I'm feeling a little bit like unsure or a little bit nervous about the whole labor experience, because I know it's coming up quite quickly. So staying active for me is a physical and it's a mental game. I feel like I've talked for a very long time, so I really do want to just again preface this video by saying everyone's experiences are different. This was just my experience. Thank you so much for listening to me speak for so long, by the way. If you did stay this entire video, I really am so grateful. I would love for you to stay and be a part of my journey if you would like. No pressure at all, but I'm just really grateful for you staying and watching this entire video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope everyone has a lovely rest of the day.